Gary once again began the pursuit of employment, scanning the help wanted section of the Modesto Bee, searching for suitable vocation, discovering a sundry of opportunities. Finding an interesting prospect, journeying to Oakdale to submit an application and interview for a flight cargo coordinator position with Sierra West Aviation, an air freight carrier based at the Oakdale airport. The Oakdale audience was a formality, filling out an employee application, submitting a resume, being briefed. The post entailed preparing manifests, coordinating airport pickups and delivery for arrivals and departures at various destinations. Gary, having experienced this coordination with the John Deere Company, having provided for custom cutter customers on the Harvest Trail. The interview coming to a conclusion, the outcome coming as expected. We'll get back to you. The following morning, an unexpected call for a second interview, but this time with the operations manager. Arriving, Gary again related his past John Deere experience in preparing manifests, inventory paperwork, coordinating and confirming pickup and delivery. The interview completed, leaving with a feeling of confidence. The prospects for acquiring the position was beginning to look good, but a phone call the next morning brought disappointment. His employment search to continue. Gary's savings in the bank still a loan provision for their livelihood. Fran joining the pursuit of employment, discovering a help wanted ad for the McHenry Avenue Dollar Tree. Acknowledging her prior years of service in Florida, she was immediately hired, working the early morning shift, commencing at 4 a.m., accepting incoming freight, restocking the shelves. Fran being a non-driver and with no public transportation at that hour, Gary found himself on the morning shift, providing her early morning transportation to work and her return in the afternoon. Continuing his search, he interviewed with a company accessing inventory, putting a team of inventory data people together, to count shelf items in stores. The morning paper giving notice for a maintenance position at the Modesto Parkway Plaza Walmart store. That afternoon found him driving across town to the Park Plaza store, seeking out the human resource person, attaching his typewritten resume to a filled-out Walmart employment application. The next morning he received a call from the inventory company notifying him of his acceptance, and scheduling a meeting day and time. No sooner had he got off the phone, he received a second call. It was Walmart, the human resource lady asking if he could be available for an interview at 2 p.m. The afternoon Walmart interview with HR was brief, and as before received the standard answer, "We'll notify you." Returning home he was undecided whether to just go ahead and follow up with the inventory position when the phone rang again. It was Walmart. His orientation and employment would commence in the morning. Gary was amazed. 2 job confirmations in one day, but more amazing was the expediency of Walmart's hiring. Neither position high-paying, but at least a working opportunity. Walmart's process for hiring was a new experience, a drug test, a signature for permission to acquisition his DMV and law enforcement records, accompanied with a scheduled computerized maintenance and safety test. Gary discovering the test somewhat inefficacious, having to watch 4 hours of safety videos, then a 5-part, 10-question test about interactive maintenance procedure skills, most which were not relative. The orientation completed, Gary finding the hours were from 11 o'clock p.m. to 7:30 a.m. in the morning in the 24-hour accessible store. The first evening on the job, discovering the crew of 8 wasn't contingent for performing actual maintenance. They were custodians, responsible for floors, restrooms, and cleanup duties, vacuuming the offices and trash removal. All plumbing, lighting, and other repair requirements were subcontracted out. Walmart having a single custodian person on duty during the day and early evening, responsible for cleaning up spills and cleanliness of restrooms and the lunchroom. The crew chief assigning the night crew their work assignments, stripping and waxing various sections of the floor, vacuuming the vast store area carpet, which could entail 3 hours, followed by a buffer top scrubbing of the carpet for stains, and riding the propane-driven powered buffers over the vinyl flooring. The custodial experience was nothing new, having worked 5 years at the Kiowa grade school as a custodian driver, but he was more impressed with the work ethic of the other department employees. Finding the managers of the various sales departments would arrive during the early morning hours, some as early as 5 a.m. to ready their department for the day's expected traffic, filling inventories, rearranging, and stocking the department's shelves. The store prevailed a representative safety committee, meeting once a month to discuss workmen's comp and safety issues, also offered as a benefit, stock offerings, and medical insurance for all employees, designated as associates. For some, the only disparity was being monitored on camera, and as hourly wage earners, required to clock out for their 2 15-minute breaks, their off-the-clock time compensated. A 30-minute lunch being a normal clock-out situation, Gary discovered clocking in and out for breaks as well as a 30-minute so-called lunch was to his advantage. By not taking any breaks, he was able to combine the 2 15-minute break allowances with his 30 minutes lunch, providing him an hour to clock out, stop at the Jack in the Box drive-thru, drive home and have Fran at the Dollar Tree at 4 a.m., and clock back in with his return. He realized that his Walmart maintenance $7.75 per hour employment was $1 more than the Walmart starting wage, and $2 more than minimum wage, but still was just a stopgap measure. Determined to continue his search, attesting it was just a matter of time before he would encounter a more applicable precedence.